Hey everybody, Steve Thompson with USA Hockey Goaltending. Today I want to talk about a drill that's going to improve your decision making for your goaltenders in practice. I'd say if there's one area we can all improve on, it's not providing so much information to our goalies that they don't have to make decisions when they're out on the ice. And so this will be a great way that we can have some variables that we can control to see what we're trying to work on development wise, but still give enough freedom to them to solve the puzzle on their own. So we're going to call this drill four square. And the way this is going to work, we're going to put some pucks in the corner. We're going to put a tire or a cone at the top of the circles. And if you have an ice marker, you're willing to draw a circle, you can. You don't necessarily need to do this, but I like to draw a circle just to kind of keep the forwards in D in an area where they know where they're trying to go. And so you'll have two forwards in the circle and one defender. And then you'll have another forward in the corner here. And this player with the puck is going to carry the puck up around the cone. They're going to turn their back to the net, and then they're going to turn back and attack the net from this low, sharp angle. And then what the decision's going on at the net front is you're going to have your strong side forward and your weak side forward, and they have two different options. They can either go down low on the strong side or they can go up high on the strong side. The other forward does the same. They can either go low weak side or high weak side, and the defender has to make a decision. They can only take one of the forwards away. And what we're trying to do is create some different scenarios where maybe the goalie has a backdoor threat, and that's the decision we want to see. Maybe it's a high threat on the weak side, maybe it's on the strong side. All those different variables are going to be different reads that we're looking for with our goaltender. So let's say, for example, player comes up, takes around. We have one forward that goes down low. We have one forward that stays high, and that D decides to hold on to that player. Then we know this is going to be a 2-on-0 at the net front, and that weak side backdoor play. So if that's the threat, do we see our goalies manage their depth differently and get a little deeper in the net? Do they start to pre-square to the weak side of the ice knowing that that's the threat? Conversely, if the forward is on the weak side of the ice but up higher, does your goalie decide to hold their edges and stay on their feet knowing they have more time and space before that pass is made? I'd say maybe the last thing that you could talk to your goalies about, or one of many, if the strong side threat is the only threat available, say the defender chose to take away the weak side of the ice, the backdoor play, then does that goalie play maybe a little more aggressively because they know that the play can only happen on the strong side of the ice? There is no threat. They trust their D on the weak side. And so again, you can see all the different variables. Other coaching cues I would look for, you're looking for shoulder checks. And the reason that we want to be intentional about the player going around the cone where their back's to the net is that's a great opportunity when the goalie can trust that there's not going to be a shot or a pass being made. So that's the perfect time to look to the weak side, start to anticipate what's coming next. I would say your elite goalies are going to do a great job scanning the ice and getting valuable information. Your more developing goalies are probably going to stare at the puck, and they're going to focus on that thing, and they're not going to be aware of what's on the weak side of the ice. So again, the more decision making we can build into our plays, the more we can be a puppeteer where we're really working with the forwards and D on what they need to do and letting the goalies figure it out, the better it'll be for goaltending development. Thank you.
So I think the biggest thing you see here is that you can notice the goalie's coming off. You know, it's the time of the game. And I like it how I get to my post and get into my post early. And I'm not, like, it was one thing we really worked on this year was not overlapping too much and getting into my post a little bit. So you can see as Kadri brings it down into the zone, I'm not overlap, not overly playing him. I just get right to my post early enough where I'm not, I know it's a scenario where, like, you can see I have a little bit of depth there. And then as soon as I see him getting down there, I try, okay, I'm going to get to my post and just trust it and not play him overly much because it's going to be a 6-on-5 scenario where there's going to be guys open. So I have to make sure I understand that.
Okay.
And then I don't have a ton of time to look. I would have loved to scan the ice a little bit better here, but I don't. So all I have a chance to do is just transfer over and just cover my ice again because he's making a quick play behind the net. And I think he was trying to actually shoot this, and it goes off my defenseman. He was trying to, like, shoot it on me and goes off my defenseman, which is kind of a strange bounce. And I'm kind of screened here. I don't see much. And it kind of goes over the guy's stick there. But as soon as I see it go over the guy's stick, I kind of gain a little bit of vision here. I'm just trying to get as much ice as I possibly can here because I'm kind of in a vulnerable scenario. And I don't have a ton of time, but I'm just trying to gain a little bit as I drop. It's almost like drop forward on it to just gain as little bit of ice as I can to take a little bit more net coverage as possible because it's going to be a tough scenario here where it's going to be like a little bit of a weird play.
Okay. You see it here, yeah.
The jump over the stick, and then I don't have a ton of time. I kind of regain vision right here, and I'm just trying to drop forward the best I can to take up as much ice as I can. And luckily I get enough of a sight to just drop and watch that puck in and preserve the lead.
Is that a case where like is the priority's got to be vision? Like if you just like, oh, I got to take ice, and you start moving without keeping your eyes on it, he's shooting while you're moving.
Priority is always vision, in my opinion. It's always best to get vision, I think. And I think the biggest thing through screens and finding vision is actually being as relaxed as you possibly can. As soon as you panic and say, I can't see it, and you start violently moving around to try and find it, I think that's when you see goalies really get into trouble. I think when you just try and stay relaxed, the game around you kind of moves around where it kind of like, if I didn't move a ton, but the guys all drift to one side, which actually allowed me to keep my vision on the puck a little bit better there. If you see what I mean, like the guys kind of drifted. It almost like if I'm all of a sudden there and I start panicking, trying to look around everything, I'm just going to be looking into bodies more than if I just stay relaxed and just kind of, okay, there's my opening to see, and I kind of go to that opening instead of being panicked. And I think that's the biggest thing that I try and do is stay as relaxed as possible through screens.
And I think that we saw that in that first clip too, right? Where you just trust you're going to one side, it's going the other way, and there's no panic. It's going to open up for you a chance to see it.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest one. Trust me, you got to fight for your eyes and fight to find pucks and fight to see things. But I think there's a way to do it that's more relaxed than violently looking around and trying to find stuff. In my opinion, it's just the best to stay relaxed.
Fight for sightlines without panicking.
Yeah, and I like doing it personally from a taller, higher stance as well. I know this scenario I'm a little bit lower because I'm coming off my post, but once again, through screens, I think the bigger, taller, more relaxed stance you can have is going to give you the best opportunity to not panic and start really violently looking for pucks.